Hey guys, tonight we begin with something that might make you reconsider complaining about your morning routine. Picture this. You wake up in ancient Rome, reach for your toothbrush, and instead find a chamber pot. Not exactly the minty fresh start to your day that Colgate promised, right? But here's the thing. For Roman soldiers, that chamber pot wasn't just convenient plumbing. It was their dental care system. You've probably heard some wild stories about ancient hygiene practices. Maybe laughed at how primitive people used to be. Hollywood loves showing us Romans in pristine white togas, perfectly groomed, looking like they just stepped out of a spa. The reality? Far more pungent, far more practical, and infinitely more fascinating than any movie could capture. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. But only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from and what time it is for you. It's always fascinating to see who's joining us from around the world, especially when we're about to dive into topics that make you grateful for modern plumbing. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum. Tonight, we're not just exploring history. We're examining the bizarre, practical, and surprisingly scientific world of ancient dental care. You'll discover why Roman soldiers swished urine like mouthwash, why wealthy Romans imported Portuguese piss specifically for their teeth, and how this practice persisted well into the modern era. And let's ease into tonight's journey together, because what you're about to learn will change how you think about both ancient civilizations and your own bathroom cabinet forever. A morning ritual that would horrify you. You wake up before dawn in a Roman military camp, somewhere along Hadrian's Wall. The year is 128 CE, and the British mist clings to everything like a damp blanket. Your fellow soldiers are stirring in their leather tents, the sound of coughing and groaning filling the morning air. But you're not reaching for coffee. That won't exist for another 1,000 years. Instead, you're about to participate in a ritual that would send modern people running to the nearest bathroom to vomit. You stumble outside your tent, still half asleep, and make your way to the communal latrines. But you're not going there for the obvious reason. You're collecting your morning dental care. The ceramic vessels lined up along the wooden seats aren't just waste receptacles. They're your personal pharmacy. Fresh, warm, and according to every Roman medical text you've never read, but somehow know through cultural osmosis, absolutely essential for maintaining healthy teeth and gums. The science, bizarre as it sounds to our modern ears, wasn't entirely wrong. Human urine contains ammonia, a compound that breaks down bacteria and acts as a natural bleaching agent. When you swish that acrid liquid around your mouth, you're essentially using a primitive but effective antiseptic. The ammonia neutralizes acids produced by bacteria, preventing tooth decay in ways that wouldn't be scientifically understood until the 19th century. Your ancestors stumbled onto biochemistry through pure trial and error. But let's not romanticize this. The taste is overwhelming. Sharp, bitter, with an aftertaste that lingers like regret. Your throat burns slightly, and your eyes water, not from emotion, but from the ammonia fumes. This isn't pleasant. This is survival medicine in an era when tooth decay could literally kill you through infection spreading to your brain. You're not enjoying this morning routine, but you're doing it because the alternative, losing your teeth by age 30, is worse. The ritual varies depending on your rank. Common soldiers use their own urine, collected in small clay vessels kept beside their sleeping areas. Centurions might trade for urine from younger, healthier soldiers, believing it more potent. The truly wealthy back in Rome, those senators and merchants you'll never meet, import Portuguese urine, convinced that diet and climate make it superior for dental care. There's actually a thriving trade in specialty urine across the empire, with certain regions commanding premium prices for their particular blend of minerals and ammonia concentration. You watch your tent mate Gaius go through his own morning routine. He's been in the legions for 12 years, and his teeth are remarkably good for a man approaching 40. He credits his daily urine rinse, performed with the same dedication modern people bring to flossing. He swishes for exactly the same duration every morning, spits in the same direction, follows it with a piece of rough bread to scrub his teeth clean. The consistency isn't just habit. It's learned behavior passed down through generations of soldiers who discovered what worked through countless trial and error. The social dynamics around this practice fascinate you, even as you participate. There's no shame, no embarrassment. This is medicine, as routine and necessary as sharpening your sword or mending your sandals. Conversations flow normally while men rinse their mouths with waste products. Someone jokes about last night's dinner. Another complains about his equipment. A third discusses strategy for today's patrol. The cognitive dissonance never resolves because it doesn't exist for you. This is simply how dental care works. Your mouth feels cleaner afterward, though not in any way you'd recognize today. The sharp ammonia taste gradually fades, replaced by something that might charitably be called fresh. Your teeth feel smoother, less coated with the bacteria that build up overnight. Modern dentists would be horrified by the delivery method, but grudgingly impressed by the results. You're preventing gingivitis, reducing plaque, and maintaining oral health using techniques that predated scientific understanding by centuries. The morning mist begins to lift as you finish your routine. Other soldiers are emerging from their tents, beginning their own dental care rituals. Some use twigs frayed at the ends as primitive toothbrushes. Others employ rough cloth dipped in oil and salt. But everyone starts with urine. It's the foundation of Roman dental hygiene, as fundamental as olive oil is to cooking or iron is to warfare. You don't question it any more than you question breathing. As you prepare for the day ahead, checking equipment, eating breakfast, receiving orders from your centurion, your mouth settles into what passes for normalcy. The taste is gone, but the effects remain. Your breath doesn't smell pleasant by modern standards, but it's significantly better than it would be without any dental care at all. In a world where most people's teeth rot out of their heads by middle age, you're maintaining oral health through methods that seem insane but work surprisingly well. This is your reality, repeated every morning for years of military service. Accepted without question because it's simply how things are done. You've never known any other way, and you won't live to see alternatives develop. This morning ritual, as alien as it seems to modern minds, represents the intersection of practicality, tradition, and accidental scientific discovery that characterizes so much of ancient life. The unexpected science behind ancient antiseptics. You're standing in what passes for a Roman military hospital, watching the medicus, the camp doctor, prepare treatments for wounded soldiers. The year is still 128 CE, and you're beginning to understand that Roman medicine isn't the primitive guesswork you might expect. The medicus reaches for a ceramic jar filled with a pale yellow liquid, and you realize you're about to witness urine being used for something far more serious than dental care. A soldier arrives with a deep gash on his forearm, the result of a training accident with a gladius. The wound is already showing signs of infection, red, swollen, with yellow pus beginning to form around the edges. In your modern understanding, this man needs antibiotics, sterile cleaning, and professional medical attention. What he gets instead is fresh human urine, applied directly to the wound, and somehow it works better than you'd expect. The medicus explains his reasoning as he works, and you're surprised by how sophisticated his understanding actually is. He knows that fresh urine is sterile when it leaves the body, a fact that won't be scientifically proven until the 1800s. He's observed that wounds cleaned with urine heal faster and show less infection than those treated with water alone. He doesn't understand why, but centuries of trial and error have taught him what works. The ammonia in urine kills bacteria. The urea helps break down dead tissue, and various minerals aid in healing. But you're not just observing medical treatment. You're witnessing the birth of antiseptic medicine, developed through pure empirical observation. The Romans stumbled onto principles of wound care that wouldn't be formally understood until Pasteur's work on germ theory. They're using ammonia as a disinfectant without knowing what ammonia is, applying chemical principles without understanding chemistry, practicing medicine that's simultaneously primitive and remarkably advanced. The soldier winces as the urine hits his wound, but the medicus continues his application with confident precision. He's not guessing. He's following established procedures passed down through generations of military doctors. The Roman army's medical corps maintains detailed records of what works, what doesn't, and what kills patients faster than leaving wounds untreated. Urine therapy isn't superstition. It's evidence-based medicine developed through brutal trial and error on thousands of wounded soldiers. You learn that different types of urine are considered more effective for different conditions. Young, healthy soldiers provide the best urine for wound cleaning because their bodies produce fewer waste products and higher concentrations of useful compounds. Pregnant women's urine is prized for treating eye infections, though no one understands why. The urine of people who eat specific diets, lots of garlic, certain herbs, particular grains, is sought after for different medical applications. The complexity of this system astounds you. There are specialists who evaluate urine quality, testing color, smell, taste, and even texture to determine medicinal value. Markets exist where premium urine commands high prices. Professional urine collectors travel between cities, maintaining careful records of their suppliers' diets and health conditions. This isn't primitive medicine. It's a sophisticated pharmaceutical industry, based on empirical observation rather than scientific understanding. The wounded soldier's treatment continues with a mixture of urine, honey, and crushed herbs applied as a poultice. The honey provides antimicrobial properties, another accidentally correct medical intervention. The herbs may or may not help, but they certainly don't hurt. The combination creates an environment hostile to bacterial growth while promoting tissue healing. Modern wound care uses different methods to achieve identical results. You observe the medicus treating other conditions with urine-based remedies. Skin infections receive direct applications of fermented urine, where prolonged storage increases ammonia concentration. Eye problems are treated with heavily diluted fresh urine, applied as drops or washes. Digestive issues sometimes receive oral urine doses, though this practice is more controversial even among Roman doctors. The range of applications suggests centuries of experimentation and observation. The theoretical framework underlying these treatments would seem familiar to modern chemists. If stripped of supernatural explanations, Romans understand that some substances have purifying properties, others promote healing, still others fight corruption and decay. They don't use terms like antiseptic or antimicrobial, but their practical applications demonstrate sophisticated understanding of chemical processes. What strikes you most forcefully is how systematic this approach is. Roman military medicine isn't random folk remedies. It's organized, documented, taught in formal schools, and constantly refined through practice. The medicus attended years of training, studied under experienced practitioners, and maintains detailed records of his treatments and their outcomes. When he uses urine to clean wounds, he's applying professional medical knowledge, not desperate improvisation. The soldier's wound receives final treatment, a bandage soaked in diluted urine, changed twice daily, with fresh applications of the antiseptic solution. The medicus predicts the wound will heal cleanly within 10 days, barring complications. His confidence isn't misplaced. Roman military medicine achieves survival rates that won't be matched again until the 19th century. Their methods seem bizarre, but their results speak for themselves. As you leave the hospital, you're processing the cognitive dissonance between method and effectiveness. These treatments work, documented across centuries of military campaigns and civilian practice. Roman medical texts describe urine therapies with the same precision modern textbooks use for pharmaceutical interventions. The delivery system offends modern sensibilities, but the underlying science remains sound. Sometimes effectiveness matters more than elegance. Daily life in the legions. Beyond the golden streams, you wake up on your third week in the Roman camp, and the routine is becoming second nature. But today, you're not just observing the morning dental ritual, you're understanding how it fits into the broader reality of military life. The camp around you houses 5,000 men, and every single one of them participates in hygiene practices that would horrify modern germaphobes while actually maintaining better health than many medieval armies would achieve centuries later. The latrines are architectural marvels disguised as toilets. Built over running water when possible, these communal facilities seat dozens of men simultaneously. But you're not here for waste disposal, you're here for resource collection. The Romans have turned human waste into a sophisticated supply chain. Fresh urine gets collected in designated vessels for immediate medical and dental use. Aged urine ferments in larger containers for cleaning purposes. Even solid waste serves purposes: collected, composted, and used as fertilizer for the camp's food production. Your fellow soldier Marcus demonstrates the morning collection process with the efficiency of a modern laboratory technician. He knows exactly which vessels contain urine of different ages, which soldiers produce the highest quality material, and how to test freshness through smell and appearance. This isn't disgusting to him, it's practical resource management. The Roman army wastes nothing, especially materials that can maintain soldier health and combat effectiveness. The social dynamics around these practices reveal sophisticated understanding of hygiene and health. Officers don't exempt themselves from urine-based treatments, but they do have access to higher quality materials. Centurions maintain their own collection systems, often trading with younger soldiers for fresher supplies. Even the camp commander, a grizzled veteran of 20 campaigns, begins each day with the same dental routine as the newest recruit. Military hierarchy doesn't override medical necessity. You're learning that Roman military camps are essentially mobile cities with complex infrastructure. The engineers who design these temporary settlements include specialized areas for waste processing, medical treatment, equipment maintenance, and resource storage. Urine collection and processing facilities receive the same careful planning as granaries and armories. Military architects understand that soldier health directly impacts combat effectiveness, so they design systems that maintain both hygiene and morale. The variety of applications continues to amaze you. Beyond dental care and wound treatment, urine serves dozens of military purposes. Mixed with ash, it creates soap for washing clothes and equipment. Aged in leather containers, it produces cleaning solutions powerful enough to maintain armor and weapons. Combined with specific herbs, it forms insect repellent that keeps mosquitoes and flies away from sleeping areas. The Romans have discovered industrial chemistry through necessity and observation. Your equipment maintenance routine now includes urine-based treatments you never expected. Leather armor requires regular cleaning with fermented urine solutions that prevent cracking and maintain flexibility. Metal weapons get polished with mixtures of urine, sand, and oil that remove rust while creating protective coatings. Even wooden shields benefit from urine treatments that seal the wood against moisture and insect damage. Every piece of military equipment receives chemical treatment using processes developed through centuries of practical experience. The camp's medical facilities operate like modern hospitals, if modern hospitals use different raw materials. The infirmary maintains separate areas for wound treatment, eye care, digestive problems, and skin conditions. Each area has its own urine supply chain, with specific requirements for freshness, concentration, and source quality. Medical orderlies test materials before use, maintaining standards that ensure treatment effectiveness. Professional medical practice includes quality control for human waste products. Training exercises expose you to combat applications of these treatments. Wounded soldiers receive immediate field treatment with portable urine supplies carried by medical personnel. Combat medics know how to quickly assess wound severity and apply appropriate treatments under battlefield conditions. Emergency medical procedures include cleaning wounds with fresh urine, applying pressure bandages soaked in antiseptic solutions, and maintaining supplies that prevent infection during transport to proper medical facilities. The psychological aspects of these practices intrigue you more each day. Roman soldiers don't experience disgust or embarrassment around bodily functions the way modern people do. They view human waste as valuable raw materials, useful for maintaining health and military effectiveness. This practical attitude extends to all aspects of camp life. Nothing is wasted. Everything serves a purpose, and personal squeamishness never overrides practical necessity. Food preparation benefits from these same principles. Camp cooks use urine-based cleaning solutions to maintain cooking equipment and food storage areas. Kitchen staff understand that proper sanitation prevents disease outbreaks that could disable entire units. The same attention to cleanliness that characterizes medical treatment extends to food handling, equipment maintenance, and living area management. Military effectiveness depends on comprehensive hygiene practices. Your understanding of Roman military success expands beyond tactics and equipment to include public health and preventive medicine. These armies stay healthy during long campaigns because they've developed systematic approaches to sanitation, medical treatment, and resource management. They don't lose more soldiers to disease than combat because they've learned how to maintain health under difficult conditions. Urine therapy represents just one component of sophisticated military medicine. The evening routine mirrors the morning ritual, but with different purposes. Soldiers clean equipment, treat minor injuries, and prepare for the next day's activities. The same urine-based solutions used for dental care also serve for weapon maintenance, leather treatment, and medical applications. Everything connects to everything else in a system designed for maximum efficiency and minimum waste. Roman military organization extends to waste management and resource utilization. As you settle into your sleeping area, you're surrounded by the sounds and smells of a functioning military camp. The sharp ammonia scent of urine treatments mingles with smoke from cooking fires, oil from weapon maintenance, and leather from equipment care. This is the reality of Roman military life. Practical, efficient, sometimes unpleasant, but remarkably effective at maintaining fighting forces under challenging conditions. The chemistry of survival, what they didn't know but did right. You're sitting in the camp's unofficial classroom, where the older soldiers teach newcomers the practical skills that keep armies alive. Tonight's lesson isn't sword work or formation fighting, it's chemistry, though none of these men would recognize the term. Marcus, a 20-year veteran with teeth that would make a modern dentist weep with envy, is explaining why some types of urine work better than others, and his explanations reveal an intuitive understanding of biochemical processes that won't be formally described for another 15 centuries. Fresh piss from a healthy young soldier, Marcus explains, holding up a clay vessel. That's your best medicine, but you've got to know what makes it good. He proceeds to describe factors that modern chemists would immediately recognize as affecting chemical composition: diet, age, health status, time of day, and storage conditions. He doesn't understand molecular structure, but he understands that these variables produce different results in medical applications. The science underlying his observations is surprisingly sophisticated. Human urine contains over 3,000 different chemical compounds, including urea, ammonia, creatinine, various salts, and trace minerals. The Romans discovered through trial and error that these compounds have antimicrobial, antiseptic, and therapeutic properties. Fresh urine is sterile and contains optimal concentrations of active ingredients. Aged urine develops higher ammonia levels through bacterial decomposition, making it more effective for certain cleaning applications, but potentially too harsh for dental care. You learn that dietary modifications can dramatically alter urine chemistry, and Roman soldiers exploit this knowledge systematically. Men assigned to medical duties follow specific diets designed to optimize their urine's therapeutic value. High-protein diets increase urea concentration, useful for wound cleaning. Certain herbs and vegetables modify mineral content in ways that enhance antimicrobial properties. Soldiers who eat garlic regularly produce urine that's particularly effective against bacterial infections, though no one understands why until the discovery of allicin centuries later. The fermentation process that creates aged urine reveals Roman understanding of controlled decomposition. They know that storage time, temperature, and container materials affect the final product's potency. Clay vessels produce different results than leather containers. Underground storage creates different chemical conditions than above-ground aging. Time periods are carefully controlled. Too short produces insufficient concentration. Too long creates products too caustic for medical use. This is sophisticated chemical engineering disguised as waste management. Marcus demonstrates testing procedures that would impress modern quality control specialists. He evaluates urine color, looking for the pale yellow that indicates optimal concentration. Clarity reveals absence of contamination. Smell indicates proper fermentation without dangerous bacterial overgrowth. Taste. Yes, they actually taste test medical urine. Provides information about chemical composition and storage quality. These sensory evaluations serve the same function as modern laboratory analysis, providing quality assurance for therapeutic materials. The concentration techniques Romans employ reveal understanding of chemical principles they can't articulate. Evaporation increases active ingredient density. Mixing with specific minerals alters pH levels for different applications. Dilution with clean water creates solutions appropriate for sensitive treatments like eye care. Combination with other substances, honey, wine, oils, herbs, produces compound medications with multiple therapeutic properties. Roman military medicine practices pharmaceutical compounding using empirical knowledge. You observe the preparation of specialized urine-based medications for different conditions. Skin infections receive treatments with urine aged exactly 14 days, mixed with specific plant extracts and applied at particular concentrations. Eye problems get diluted fresh urine, filtered through clean cloth and administered as drops or washes. Wound care uses fresh urine for initial cleaning, followed by aged urine for continued antiseptic treatment. Each application has specific preparation requirements developed through centuries of medical practice. The storage and distribution systems reveal sophisticated understanding of chemical stability and contamination prevention. Different types of urine get stored in different container materials. Clay for medical applications, leather for cleaning supplies, wooden barrels for large-scale processing. Storage locations are chosen based on temperature requirements and protection from contamination. Distribution follows strict protocols that maintain quality from collection through final application. Regional variations in these practices demonstrate Roman awareness that environmental factors affect chemical processes. Soldiers stationed in cold climates modify fermentation times because low temperatures slow bacterial activity. Desert postings require different storage methods because heat accelerates decomposition. Tropical assignments create unique challenges with humidity affecting storage stability. Military medicine adapts chemical processes to local conditions, using practical experience rather than theoretical knowledge. The quality control measures Romans employ would satisfy modern pharmaceutical standards, if not modern ingredient preferences. They maintain detailed records of which soldiers produce the most effective urine for different medical applications. They track correlations between diet, health, and urine quality. They document treatment outcomes and adjust procedures based on empirical results. This is evidence-based medicine using data collection and analysis techniques that wouldn't be formalized for centuries. Training programs ensure consistent application of these chemical processes across the entire army. New soldiers learn proper collection, storage, and application techniques from experienced practitioners. Medical personnel receive specialized training in advanced preparation methods and quality testing. Officers understand the supply chain requirements for maintaining adequate stocks of properly prepared materials. Military organization extends to pharmaceutical production and distribution. The economic implications of these practices reveal Roman understanding of resource optimization. Converting waste products into valuable medical supplies reduces costs while improving health outcomes. Specialized urine production creates additional roles for soldiers not suited for combat duties. Trade in premium urine generates income for individuals and units. Military efficiency improves when armies maintain their own pharmaceutical production rather than relying on external suppliers. As the evening lesson concludes, you realize you've been learning industrial chemistry disguised as military medicine. These soldiers understand chemical processes intuitively, applying principles they can't explain but can certainly utilize. Their empirical approach to pharmaceutical production achieves results that modern medicine recognizes as scientifically sound, even when delivered through methods that modern sensibilities find repugnant. Social hierarchies and a democracy of bodily functions. You're attending what Romans call a convivium, a military feast celebrating a recent victory over local British tribes. The year is still 128 CE, and you're witnessing something remarkable. Senators, centurions, and common soldiers all participating in the same post-meal dental routine. In a society rigidly stratified by social class, urine-based hygiene creates an unexpected equality. Even the wealthiest Romans can't escape the biological necessity of waste production, and everyone benefits from its medical applications. The social dynamics around these practices reveal fascinating contradictions in Roman culture. While society maintains strict hierarchies in almost every aspect of life, who can wear purple, who sits where at dinner, who speaks first in meetings, bodily functions operate under different rules. A senator's urine isn't inherently superior to a slave's for medical purposes, though social conditioning creates artificial distinctions. The reality of human biology overrides social pretension in ways that illuminate Roman attitudes toward class, medicine, and practical necessity. Marcus Aurelius himself, you learn from camp gossip, begins each day with the same urine-based dental routine as the lowest-ranking soldier. Imperial physicians recommend these treatments based on their effectiveness, not their elegance. Roman medical texts describe emperors using the same therapies as peasants, though prepared with greater ceremony and served in more elaborate vessels. Political power can't overcome biological reality. Everyone's teeth need the same chemical care. The procurement systems for high-quality urine reveal how social hierarchies adapt to medical necessity. Wealthy Romans hire young, healthy individuals specifically for urine production, paying premium wages for dietary compliance and lifestyle restrictions. These urine farmers follow strict regimens designed to optimize their output's therapeutic value. They eat specific foods, avoid certain activities, maintain particular sleep schedules, and submit to regular health evaluations. This creates a new category of specialized worker, valued for biological production rather than manual labor or intellectual skills. You observe trading relationships that cross normal social boundaries. Centurions exchange military equipment for access to premium urine supplies. Merchants offer goods in return for medical quality waste products. Even slaves can negotiate better treatment by providing high-quality materials for their master's health needs. The value of human waste as medical supplies creates economic opportunities that bypass traditional social restrictions. The medical profession maintains its own hierarchy around these practices. Physicians who specialize in urine therapies command higher fees and greater respect than general practitioners. Master physicians teach apprentices proper collection, preparation, and application techniques. Medical schools include courses on waste product evaluation and processing. Professional standards ensure consistent quality across the empire, with certification requirements for practitioners who offer specialized treatments. Military rank creates some distinctions in access and quality, but medical necessity overrides social preference. Officers receive priority access to premium materials, but during emergencies or shortages, everyone uses whatever's available. Combat wounds don't respect social status. A centurion's infected cut requires the same chemical treatment as a common soldier's injury. Battle conditions eliminate artificial distinctions in favor of practical medical care. The infrastructure supporting these practices reflects Roman engineering excellence applied to waste management. Public latrines in major cities include collection systems that separate waste streams for different purposes. Private homes of wealthy citizens feature elaborate bathroom facilities designed to maximize urine collection and processing. Military camps integrate waste management with medical supply production. Roman architects design buildings that support both sanitation and pharmaceutical production. Cultural attitudes toward these practices reveal Roman pragmatism overriding aesthetic preferences. Poetry and literature reference urine treatments matter-of-factly, without embarrassment or disgust. Medical texts describe procedures with the same clinical precision used for other therapies. Educational materials teach proper techniques to children of all social classes. Roman culture normalizes these practices as medical necessities rather than disgusting requirements. The religious aspects of Roman life accommodate these medical practices without conflict. Priests and religious officials use the same treatments as secular citizens. Temple complexes include facilities for proper waste collection and processing. Religious festivals incorporate thanksgiving for good health maintained through whatever means prove effective. Roman spirituality embraces practical medicine rather than rejecting it as impure or inappropriate. International trade relationships develop around premium urine exports, particularly from regions known for superior dietary conditions. Portuguese urine commands high prices throughout the empire because of favorable climate and nutrition factors. Spanish products are valued for different therapeutic properties. Trade routes include specialized storage and transport systems that maintain quality during long-distance shipping. Roman commerce adapts to include biological products as valuable commodities. Legal frameworks regulate these practices to ensure quality and prevent fraud. Laws define standards for medical-grade urine, establishing penalties for contamination or misrepresentation. Professional licensing requirements ensure proper training for practitioners who prepare and apply these treatments. Consumer protection measures prevent exploitation of desperate patients seeking medical care. Roman legal systems adapt to regulate emerging pharmaceutical industries. The educational implications extend beyond medical training to general knowledge sharing. Fathers teach sons proper techniques as part of basic life skills. Mothers instruct daughters in quality evaluation and preparation methods. Military training includes comprehensive instruction in waste management and medical applications. Roman education systems integrate practical health knowledge with traditional academic subjects. Privacy expectations adjust to accommodate medical necessities while maintaining social dignity. Public collection systems provide sufficient screening to preserve modesty without hampering efficiency. Private homes balance accessibility with discretion in their bathroom facilities. Social etiquette develops rules for discussing these practices appropriately in different contexts. Roman society creates cultural norms that support medical needs while respecting individual comfort levels. As the evening feast concludes, you watch soldiers from different backgrounds, ranks, and regions all participating in the same post-meal hygiene routine. Social hierarchies remain important for military organization, political power, and economic relationships. But biological needs create spaces where practical equality supersedes artificial distinctions. Roman society proves flexible enough to accommodate medical reality alongside social structure. The medical mind of ancient Rome. Beyond folk remedies, you're standing in the Valetudinarium, the main hospital of the Roman fortress at Eboracum, modern York. The chief medicus, Lucius Valerius, is conducting what you recognize as a medical lecture, though he'd call it sharing practical knowledge. Around him, younger medical personnel take notes on wax tablets while he demonstrates wound care techniques that employ urine in ways that would make modern emergency room doctors simultaneously cringe and nod in professional approval. The humors must be balanced, Valeris explains, holding up a sample of fresh urine to the light streaming through the hospital's windows. This patient's urine is too dark, indicating excess bile. But for wound cleaning, this concentration of waste products actually serves our purposes better than the pale yellow we prefer for dental care. His analysis reveals sophisticated medical theory underlying these practices, not primitive superstition, but systematic application of ancient Greek medical knowledge adapted through Roman practical experience. The theoretical framework guiding Roman medicine incorporates urine therapy into comprehensive treatment philosophies that dominated medical thinking for over 1,000 years. Hippocratic medicine, filtered through Roman military experience, views human waste as diagnostic tools and therapeutic agents simultaneously. Physicians evaluate urine color, smell, taste, and consistency to assess patient health, then use that same material as treatment for various conditions. This dual diagnostic and therapeutic approach reveals medical thinking more sophisticated than simple folk remedies. You observe Valeris examining a soldier with persistent eye infections. First, he evaluates the patient's urine as a diagnostic tool. Dark color suggests liver problems. Strong smell indicates dietary issues. Unusual consistency points to kidney dysfunction. Then he prepares diluted urine drops as treatment for the eye condition itself. The same biological material provides information about disease causes and serves as therapeutic intervention. Roman medicine integrates diagnostic evaluation with treatment preparation in ways that demonstrate systematic medical thinking. The patient records maintained in Roman military hospitals document treatment outcomes with scientific precision that wouldn't be matched again until the 19th century. Valeris shows you detailed accounts of urine therapy applications, noting which patients responded well to different preparations, how various concentration levels affected healing rates, and which underlying conditions made certain treatments more or less effective. These records span decades of accumulated medical experience, creating databases of clinical information that guide current practice. Training protocols for Roman military physicians include extensive instruction in urine-based treatments, but not as isolated folk remedies. Medical education integrates these therapies into comprehensive curricula covering anatomy, surgery, pharmacology, and diagnostic techniques. Student physicians learn to prepare urine medications alongside instruction in bone setting, surgical procedures, and herbal pharmacy. Professional medical training treats waste-based therapies as legitimate. Pharmaceutical practice requiring specialized knowledge and careful application. The supply chain supporting hospital operations reveals systematic approach to pharmaceutical production that rivals modern hospital pharmacy departments. Different wards maintain specific types of urine for their particular medical needs. Surgery requires fresh, sterile supplies. Chronic care units stock aged preparations for ongoing treatments. Emergency areas keep multiple concentrations available for immediate use. Hospital administrators manage complex inventory systems that ensure adequate supplies while maintaining quality standards. Quality control measures employed in Roman hospitals demonstrate understanding of contamination, storage, and preparation techniques that anticipate modern pharmaceutical manufacturing principles. Medical personnel test raw materials before use, maintain controlled storage conditions, and follow standardized preparation procedures. They understand that therapeutic effectiveness depends on consistent quality, so they implement systematic approaches to ensure reliable medical supplies. Surgical applications of urine-based treatments reveal Roman medical knowledge of wound care principles that wouldn't be formally understood until the development of antiseptic surgery. Military surgeons use fresh urine to clean surgical sites before operations, reducing infection rates through chemical antisepsis. They don't fully understand but have learned to apply effectively. Post-operative care includes regular wound irrigation with prepared urine solutions, preventing complications that kill patients in other medical traditions. The pharmaceutical compounding practiced in Ramal hospitals creates complex medications using urine as a base ingredient combined with other therapeutic substances. Medical personnel prepare specialized treatments by mixing aged urine with honey for antimicrobial effects, combining fresh urine with wine for enhanced penetration, or blending concentrated urine with specific herbs for targeted applications. These compound medications demonstrate sophisticated understanding of drug interactions and therapeutic enhancement. International medical exchange spreads Roman urine therapy techniques throughout the ancient world, but also brings foreign knowledge back to Roman practice. Military physicians encounter Egyptian, Greek, Celtic, and Germanic medical traditions that use similar waste-based treatments, comparing techniques and adopting improvements. Roman military medicine evolves through cultural contact, incorporating the best practices from conquered territories while contributing Roman innovations to global medical knowledge. Research methodologies employed by Roman physicians anticipate modern clinical trial approaches, though without statistical analysis or controlled experimental design. Medical practitioners systematically test different urine preparations on similar conditions, comparing outcomes and refining techniques based on empirical results. They document which treatments work best for specific patient populations, adjust procedures based on accumulated evidence, and share findings with colleagues throughout the medical community. The specialization within Roman military medicine creates expert practitioners who focus specifically on urine-based therapies, developing advanced techniques and training others in their application. These specialists understand nuances of preparation, storage, and application that general practitioners might miss. They conduct the ancient equivalent of medical research, pushing the boundaries of what's possible with waste-based pharmaceutical production. Professional medical organizations within the Roman army established standards for urine therapy practices, ensuring consistent quality and effectiveness across different units and regions. Medical Corps leadership mandates specific training requirements, maintains certification standards, and provides continuing education to keep practitioners current with best practices. Roman military medicine operates as a professional healthcare system with standardized protocols and quality assurance measures. As your observation of the hospital continues, you realize you're witnessing sophisticated medical practice that happens to use materials modern medicine finds objectionable. The theoretical frameworks, clinical procedures, quality control measures, and professional standards all demonstrate systematic healthcare delivery that achieves impressive results through methods that challenge contemporary assumptions about ancient medicine. Roman physicians aren't primitive healers. They're trained professionals. Applying scientific principles they understand empirically, even when they can't explain them theoretically. The empire's supply chain, from urine to industry, you're walking through the Subura district of Rome in 135 CE, and the smells hit you like a physical wall. But you're not experiencing random urban odors. You're witnessing the industrial application of human waste on a scale that would impress modern chemical engineers. The buildings around you house fulling operations, tanning workshops, cleaning services, and pharmaceutical suppliers, all powered by sophisticated collection and processing systems that turn every Roman's daily biological functions into economic productivity. The Phalonica, cloth cleaning workshops, represent the most visible industrial application of urine in Roman society. Workers stomp on dirty togas and tunics in large vats filled with fermented urine, using the ammonia to break down oils and remove stains that water alone cannot handle. The process requires specific types of aged urine, carefully controlled fermentation periods, and precise dilution ratios that create effective cleaning solutions without damaging expensive fabrics. This isn't primitive laundry service. It's chemical textile processing using biological raw materials. You observe the complex supply relationships that support these industries. Professional urine collectors make regular rounds through residential neighborhoods, offering small payments for household waste products. Different collectors specialize in different quality grades. Some focus on premium residential areas, where diet and health conditions produce superior materials. Others handle bulk collection from apartment buildings and commercial districts. Collection routes are optimized for efficiency, storage requirements, and processing schedules that maximize industrial productivity. The tanning industry's use of urine reveals sophisticated understanding of chemical processes that transform animal hides into leather goods essential for Roman military and civilian life. Tanners use specific concentrations of aged urine to remove hair from hides, then employ different preparations to soften leather and improve durability. The chemical reactions involved require precise timing, temperature control, and material ratios that produce consistent results. Roman leather goods achieve quality standards that won't be matched again until modern industrial chemistry develops. Quality grading systems for industrial urine reflect Roman understanding of how different factors affect chemical composition and processing effectiveness. Premium grades come from young, healthy individuals with optimal diets. Standard grades serve for routine industrial applications. Bulk grades handle large-scale processing where chemical concentration matters more than purity. Pricing reflects these quality distinctions, creating market incentives for suppliers to maintain high standards and encouraging industrial users to select appropriate materials for their specific applications. The storage and transportation infrastructure supporting Rome's urine-based industries rivals modern chemical logistics systems in complexity and efficiency. Specialized ceramic vessels protect materials during transport while allowing continued fermentation. Underground storage facilities maintain optimal temperature and humidity conditions for different processing requirements. Distribution networks coordinate supply timing with industrial production schedules, ensuring adequate materials are available when needed while preventing waste from spoilage. Manufacturing processes employed in Roman urine-based industries demonstrate sophisticated chemical engineering principles, applied through empirical knowledge rather than theoretical understanding. Workers know exactly how long to ferment different materials for specific applications, which temperatures produce optimal chemical reactions, and how to combine urine with other substances to create specialized products. These industrial techniques achieve consistent results through carefully controlled processes that anticipate modern chemical manufacturing methods. The economic impact of these industries extends throughout Roman society, creating employment opportunities, generating tax revenue, and supporting international trade relationships. Skilled workers earn premium wages for specialized knowledge of urine processing techniques. Wholesale merchants build profitable businesses around material collection and distribution. Export industries develop around premium Roman products manufactured using superior processing methods. The economic value of human waste supports entire sectors of the Roman economy. Regulatory frameworks governing urine-based industries ensure quality standards while preventing fraud and contamination. Government inspectors evaluate processing facilities, test product quality, and enforce safety standards that protect both workers and consumers. Professional associations establish certification requirements for industrial practitioners, maintain quality standards, and provide training in advanced techniques. Legal systems define contracts for supply relationships and resolve disputes over material quality or delivery failures. International trade in processed urine products creates diplomatic and commercial relationships that extend Roman influence throughout the known world. Foreign markets demand Roman manufactured leather goods, textiles, and pharmaceutical supplies processed using superior techniques. Roman merchants established trading posts in distant regions to supply these markets while importing raw materials that enhanced domestic production. Commercial relationships built around waste-based industries support broader Roman economic and political expansion. The technological innovations developed by Roman urine processing industries influence manufacturing techniques throughout the empire and beyond. New fermentation methods improve chemical concentration while reducing processing time. Storage technologies maintain material quality during long-term supply management. Transportation systems protect products while enabling long-distance distribution. Manufacturing equipment enhances worker productivity while maintaining consistent output quality. Roman industrial innovation spreads through trade relationships and military expansion. Labor specialization within these industries creates career opportunities for workers who develop expertise in specific aspects of urine processing and application. Master craftsmen command high wages for advanced skills in leather finishing, textile cleaning, or pharmaceutical preparation. Apprenticeship programs train new workers in traditional techniques while encouraging innovation and improvement. Professional guilds maintain quality standards, protect trade secrets, and provide social support for industry workers and their families. The environmental impact of Roman urine-based industries demonstrates early understanding of waste management and resource optimization that anticipates modern sustainability principles. Industrial processes recycle biological waste that would otherwise create sanitation problems, converting it into valuable products that serve essential social needs. Closed-loop systems minimize environmental contamination while maximizing resource utilization. Roman industry achieves economic productivity while addressing public health challenges through integrated waste management. Research and development activities within Roman industries continuously improve processing techniques and discover new applications for urine-based materials. Industrial practitioners experiment with different fermentation methods, test various storage conditions, and explore new combinations with other substances. Innovation occurs through practical experimentation rather than theoretical research, but the results demonstrate systematic improvement in manufacturing processes and product quality. As you continue through Rome's industrial districts, you realize you're witnessing sophisticated chemical industries that happen to use biological raw materials. The supply chains, processing techniques, quality control measures, and economic relationships all demonstrate advanced industrial organization that achieves impressive results through methods that challenge modern assumptions about ancient technology. Roman industry isn't primitive manufacturing. It's systematic chemical processing using empirical knowledge to create essential products that support both military power and civilian prosperity. Cultural attitudes and the normalization of the unthinkable. You're sitting in a Roman theater in 140 CE, watching a comedy performance that includes jokes about urine drinking, dental care routines, and the social pretensions of people who pay premium prices for imported Portuguese piss. The audience, including senators, merchants, soldiers, and slaves, laughs together at humor that would send modern audiences fleeing in horror. But you're not witnessing primitive entertainment. You're observing sophisticated cultural attitudes that normalize medical and industrial practices through social integration and humor. The Roman approach to bodily functions reveals a worldview that emphasizes practical effectiveness over aesthetic preferences. Unlike modern Western culture, which creates elaborate euphemisms and social taboos around human waste, Roman society treats biological processes as natural phenomena that serve useful purposes. This cultural attitude enables widespread adoption of medical and industrial practices that other civilizations might reject due to social squeamishness or religious prohibition. Literature from this period reflects these attitudes in ways that illuminate Roman cultural values. Poets like Catullus and Martial reference urine-based practices in their work, not as shocking violations of social norms, but as everyday aspects of Roman life worthy of literary attention. Medical texts describe these treatments with the same clinical precision applied to other therapies. Historical accounts mention urine applications matter-of-factly, without embarrassment or detailed justification. Roman writers assume readers will understand and accept these practices as normal aspects of civilized life. Religious attitudes toward cleanliness and purity accommodate urine-based practices without creating spiritual conflicts that might prevent their adoption. Roman religion focuses more on proper ritual observance than on specific definitions of cleanliness or contamination. Religious officials use the same medical treatments as secular citizens without compromising their spiritual authority. Temple complexes include facilities that support these practices rather than prohibiting them. Roman spirituality proves flexible enough to embrace practical medicine regardless of its aesthetic appeal. Educational systems throughout the empire include instruction in urine-based, medical and industrial techniques as standard components of practical knowledge. Children learn proper collection and preparation methods alongside other essential life skills. Professional training programs incorporate these techniques into comprehensive curricula without treating them as shameful secrets or embarrassing necessities. Roman education normalizes these practices by presenting them as valuable knowledge that educated citizens should possess. Social etiquette develops sophisticated rules that accommodate these practices while maintaining appropriate dignity and privacy. Conversation guidelines indicate when and how to discuss urine-based topics appropriately in different social contexts. Behavioral norms provide discrete methods for participating in collection and treatment activities without creating awkward social situations. Roman society creates cultural frameworks that support practical needs while respecting individual comfort levels and social sensibilities. The role of humor in normalizing these practices demonstrates Roman psychological sophistication in managing cultural acceptance of potentially uncomfortable realities. Comedy allows people to discuss and accept practices that might otherwise create social tension or individual resistance. Public entertainment that includes urine-related humor signals social approval and reduces psychological barriers to participation. Roman culture uses laughter as a social integration tool that facilitates widespread adoption of practical but aesthetically challenging practices. International cultural exchange exposes Romans to different attitudes toward human waste and medical practices, reinforcing their confidence in their own approaches through comparative evaluation. Contact with Celtic, Germanic, Egyptian, and other cultures reveals that Romans aren't uniquely primitive in using biological materials for medical and industrial purposes. Cultural comparison validates Roman practices while providing opportunities to learn from foreign techniques and adapt superior methods from other traditions. Class distinctions influence participation in these practices, but don't create complete exemptions based on social status. Wealthy Romans may use more elaborate preparation methods, higher quality materials, or more elegant delivery systems, but they don't reject the underlying practices as beneath their social dignity. Aristocratic participation legitimizes these techniques for all social classes, while creating market opportunities for premium services that cater to elite preferences without abandoning effective methods. Gender roles within Roman society accommodate these practices without creating significant conflicts or restrictions based on sex-specific taboos. Both men and women participate in collection, preparation, and application activities appropriate to their social roles and family responsibilities. Medical treatment doesn't discriminate based on gender. Everyone receives the same chemical care regardless of sex. Roman gender expectations prove flexible enough to support medical necessity without creating artificial barriers based on social convention. Generational transmission of knowledge ensures continuity of these practices across time while allowing for gradual improvement and adaptation. Older generations teach younger family members proper techniques as part of standard child-rearing responsibilities. Professional practitioners maintain apprenticeship programs that preserve traditional knowledge while encouraging innovation. Cultural transmission mechanisms embed these practices deeply enough in Roman society that they persist across political changes and social evolution. The psychological frameworks Romans developed to manage potential disgust or resistance reveal sophisticated understanding of human psychology and social adaptation. Cultural conditioning begins in childhood, normalizing these practices before psychological resistance can develop. Social reinforcement through peer participation reduces individual reluctance to engage in activities that might otherwise seem objectionable. Roman society creates psychological environments that support practical medicine rather than allowing aesthetic preferences to override medical effectiveness. Military culture particularly emphasizes practical effectiveness over comfort, creating institutional attitudes that reinforce broader social acceptance of these practices. Soldiers who experience the medical benefits of urine-based treatments become advocates for their civilian application. Military success, attributed partly to superior medical care, validates these approaches for the broader population. Military institutional support provides social credibility that facilitates widespread civilian adoption. Regional variations in these cultural attitudes reflect local conditions, while maintaining general acceptance throughout the empire. Northern provinces, where dietary factors affect urine quality, develop different preparation techniques and quality standards. Desert regions create storage and application methods adapted to hot, dry conditions. Urban areas develop different social etiquette than rural regions, but maintain the same underlying acceptance of practical medical applications. As the theater performance concludes with the audience applauding jokes about morning dental routines, you realize you've witnessed cultural engineering that enables practical medicine to flourish despite aesthetic challenges. Roman society doesn't simply tolerate these practices. It actively supports them through social integration, humor, education, and institutional reinforcement. Cultural attitudes shape medical possibilities, and Roman culture creates possibilities that other civilizations might reject or ignore. Comparison with other ancient civilizations and medical traditions. You're standing in the Library of Alexandria in 145 CE, examining medical texts from across the ancient world. The scrolls around you contain healing knowledge from Egypt, Greece, Persia, India, and China. And you're discovering that Roman urine therapy isn't uniquely strange. It's part of a global tradition of waste-based medicine that reveals universal human innovation in addressing health challenges with available resources. But the Roman approach demonstrates systematic development and widespread application that distinguishes it from similar practices in other cultures. Egyptian medical papyri describe urine applications that predate Roman practices by thousands of years, revealing sophisticated understanding of waste-based therapeutics that influenced Roman medical development through cultural contact. The Edwin Smith Papyrus recommends fresh urine for wound cleaning, while the Ebers Papyrus prescribes aged urine mixtures for eye conditions and skin problems. Egyptian physicians developed preparation techniques, storage methods, and application procedures that Romans later adapted and systematized for military use. Greek medical traditions, particularly those influenced by Hippocratic medicine, provide theoretical frameworks that Roman physicians used to justify and refine urine-based treatments. Greek medical texts describe the four humors theory that explains why waste products can restore bodily balance when properly applied. Greek diagnostic techniques using urine analysis influence Roman medical practice, creating systematic approaches to evaluating both patient health and treatment materials. Greek medical schools train Roman physicians in theoretical principles that support practical applications. Chinese medical traditions employ urine therapy within comprehensive healthcare systems that rival Roman approaches in sophistication and systematic application. Traditional Chinese medicine incorporates fresh and aged human urine into treatments for kidney problems, respiratory conditions, and circulatory disorders. Chinese preparation methods include fermentation techniques, dietary modifications for urine donors, and combination with herbal medicines that create complex therapeutic compounds. Chinese medical theory provides alternative explanations for why these treatments work. Indian Ayurvedic medicine includes extensive urine therapy protocols called Amaroli that demonstrate systematic development of waste-based treatments comparable to Roman applications. Ayurvedic texts describe specific preparation methods, optimal timing for collection and application, dietary requirements for therapeutic urine production, and detailed treatment protocols for various conditions. Indian medical practitioners develop specialized knowledge in urine therapy that influences medical practice throughout Asia and reaches Roman territories through trade relationships. Persian medical traditions combine Greek theoretical knowledge with practical applications that influence Roman military medicine through contact during various military campaigns. Persian physicians develop advanced surgical techniques that incorporate urine-based antiseptics, creating medical practices that Roman military doctors adapt for battlefield conditions. Persian medical schools train practitioners in systematic approaches to waste-based therapeutics that complement Roman empirical development. Celtic medical traditions encountered by Roman armies during conquest of Gaul and Britain reveal indigenous European approaches to waste-based medicine that Romans evaluate and sometimes adopt. Celtic healers use human and animal urine for treating wounds, skin conditions, and respiratory problems, employing preparation methods adapted to local climate and resource conditions. Roman military physicians compare Celtic techniques with their own practices, adopting improvements while contributing Roman innovations to Celtic medical knowledge. Germanic medical practices observed during frontier military operations demonstrate widespread European use of urine-based treatments that validate Roman approaches through cultural comparison. Germanic tribes employ waste-based medicine for veterinary care, human medical treatment, and industrial applications, including textile processing and leather preparation. Contact between Roman and Germanic medical practitioners creates opportunities for knowledge exchange that benefits both cultures. The comparative effectiveness of different cultural approaches to urine therapy reveals Roman advantages in systematic development, quality control, and widespread application. While other cultures use similar materials and methods, Roman military organization enables standardization, professional training, and supply chain management that maximizes therapeutic effectiveness. Roman medical corps achieves consistent results across diverse geographic and cultural conditions through systematic application of empirical knowledge. Regional adaptation of urine therapy techniques demonstrates Roman flexibility in incorporating superior methods from other cultures while maintaining systematic approaches to medical care. Roman physicians stationed in different provinces learn local techniques for preparing and applying waste-based treatments, adapting methods to local climate conditions, dietary factors, and resource availability. Roman military medicine evolves through cultural contact while maintaining professional standards and systematic application. Theoretical frameworks from different cultures provide alternative explanations for why urine therapy works, enriching Roman understanding of medical principles, even when specific theories conflict. Greek humoral theory, Chinese key concepts, Indian dosha principles, and Persian elemental medicine all offer different perspectives on human health and therapeutic intervention. Roman physicians incorporate useful theoretical insights while maintaining practical focus on empirical results. Trade relationships facilitate international exchange of premium urine-based medical supplies and finished products, creating global markets for waste-based pharmaceuticals and industrial goods. Roman merchants import specialized preparations from regions known for superior quality, while exporting Roman-manufactured products to foreign markets. International commerce in waste-based materials supports economic relationships and cultural exchange that benefit medical development throughout the ancient world. Professional medical exchange between Roman and foreign practitioners accelerates development of advanced techniques and encourages innovation in traditional approaches. Roman military physicians encounter foreign medical knowledge during campaigns and diplomatic missions, learning new techniques while teaching Roman methods to foreign colleagues. Medical knowledge flows freely across cultural boundaries, creating international communities of practice that advance therapeutic effectiveness. The documentation and preservation of medical knowledge from different cultures enables systematic comparison and evaluation of various approaches to waste-based medicine. Roman military records preserve observations of foreign medical practices, while foreign texts describe Roman techniques encountered through trade and conquest. Comparative medical literature develops that evaluates different cultural approaches and identifies best practices for specific conditions. Research methodologies employed by different cultures reveal various approaches to understanding and improving urine therapy effectiveness. Roman empirical observation complements Greek theoretical analysis, Chinese systematic categorization, Indian holistic integration, and Persian rational investigation. Different research approaches contribute unique insights that advance overall understanding of waste-based therapeutics when combined through international medical exchange. As you examine texts from across the ancient world, you realize that Roman urine therapy represents systematic development of universal human innovation in medical problem solving. Other cultures discover similar solutions to health challenges, but Roman military organization, professional training, and systematic application create comprehensive medical systems that maximize therapeutic effectiveness while minimizing risks and complications. Legacy, persistence, and the evolution of dental hygiene. You're standing in a medieval monastery in England in 1485 CE, over 13 centuries after the fall of the Western Roman Empire, watching monks begin their morning prayers with a ritual that would be instantly recognizable to any Roman legionnaire. Brother Thomas reaches for a small ceramic vessel beside his sleeping mat, takes a measured sip of his own urine, swishes it carefully around his mouth for exactly 30 seconds, and spits it discreetly into a drainage channel designed for this purpose. The Roman Empire is gone, but its medical legacy survives in the most unexpected places. The persistence of urine-based dental care throughout the medieval period reveals how effective medical practices survive political collapse and cultural transformation. Monasteries throughout Europe maintain Roman medical knowledge in their libraries while continuing practical applications that preserve health in community settings. Monastic medical practitioners train in techniques derived from Roman military medicine, adapted for civilian populations, but maintaining the same systematic approaches to waste-based therapeutics. Medieval Christianity accommodates these practices as divinely ordained healing methods rather than pagan superstitions. Universities emerging during the medieval period incorporate Roman medical knowledge into formal curricula, ensuring that urine therapy receives academic legitimacy alongside other inherited medical practices. Medical schools at Salerno, Paris, and Oxford teach preparation methods, application techniques, and theoretical justifications derived from Roman and Greek sources. Academic medicine preserves Roman systematic approaches while adding new theoretical frameworks based on Islamic medical knowledge and Christian theological principles. The evolution of social attitudes toward these practices reflects changing cultural values while maintaining practical medical applications. Medieval society develops different etiquette and privacy expectations around bodily functions, but doesn't abandon effective medical treatments due to increased social squeamishness. Religious authorities accommodate waste-based medicine within Christian moral frameworks, treating bodily functions as part of divine creation rather than inherently sinful activities requiring prohibition or shame. Islamic medical traditions encounter Roman urine therapy through conquest of former Roman territories and translation of classical medical texts. incorporating these techniques into comprehensive medical systems that preserve and advance ancient knowledge. Islamic physicians like Al-Razi and Ibn Sina evaluate Roman approaches alongside Greek, Persian, and Indian medical knowledge, creating synthetic medical traditions that maintain effective, waste-based treatments while adding new theoretical understanding and practical innovations. The Renaissance period witnesses renewed interest in classical medical knowledge, including systematic re-evaluation of Roman urine therapy in light of emerging anatomical understanding and chemical knowledge. Renaissance physicians like Paracelsus advocate for empirical observation over theoretical authority, validating Roman practical approaches while developing new explanations for why these treatments work. Humanist scholars translate and publish Roman medical texts, making ancient knowledge accessible to broader medical communities. Early modern pharmaceutical development builds on Roman foundations while introducing new preparation methods and application techniques based on advancing chemical knowledge. Alchemists and early chemists analyze urine composition, identifying active ingredients that explain therapeutic effectiveness, while developing concentrated preparations that improve treatment outcomes. Scientific revolution thinking validates Roman empirical approaches while providing theoretical frameworks that explain underlying chemical processes. The 18th and 19th centuries marked the gradual decline of urine therapy in European medicine as new antiseptic chemicals become available and social attitudes toward bodily functions become more restrictive. However, the underlying principles discovered by Romans, antiseptic treatment, chemical cleaning, antimicrobial intervention, continue in modified forms using synthetic materials rather than biological sources. Modern dental hygiene represents evolution rather than revolution in approaches to oral health maintenance. Contemporary medical research validates many Roman observations about urine's therapeutic properties while developing synthetic alternatives that achieve similar results without aesthetic challenges. Modern chemistry confirms that ammonia kills bacteria, urea promotes healing, and various minerals support tissue repair. Scientific analysis proves that Roman empirical discoveries were biochemically sound even when theoretical understanding was incomplete or incorrect. The development of modern antiseptic surgery follows principles that Roman military physicians applied intuitively through urine-based wound cleaning. Joseph Lister's carbolic acid applications achieved the same antimicrobial effects that Romans obtained through waste-based antiseptics. Modern surgical preparation continues Roman systematic approaches to contamination prevention, using different materials but identical principles of chemical sterilization and wound care. Contemporary dental hygiene practices employ chemical principles that Romans discovered through urine therapy, using synthetic compounds to achieve bacterial reduction, plaque removal, and gum disease prevention. Modern mouthwashes contain ammonia compounds that provide the same antimicrobial effects Romans obtained from fermented urine. Fluoride treatments prevent tooth decay through chemical mechanisms similar to mineral deposits Romans observed in urine-treated teeth. Alternative medicine traditions in various cultures maintain urine therapy practices derived from ancient sources, including Roman military medicine preserved through various transmission routes. Traditional practitioners in India, China, and Latin America continue systematic approaches to waste-based medicine that reflect Roman organizational principles adapted to local conditions and cultural preferences. Global medical traditions preserve Roman innovations while adapting them to contemporary contexts. The study of ancient medicine reveals that Roman approaches to dental hygiene and medical care anticipate modern understanding of biochemistry, antimicrobial treatment, and systematic healthcare delivery. Contemporary medical historians recognize Roman military medicine as sophisticated healthcare systems that achieved impressive results through empirical observation and systematic application of effective techniques. Roman medical knowledge represents foundation rather than primitive precursor to modern medical practice. Environmental concerns in contemporary society encourage re-evaluation of waste-based approaches to medical and industrial applications, echoing Roman principles of resource optimization and waste utilization. Modern sustainability advocates recognize that Roman integration of waste management with pharmaceutical production offers insights for contemporary resource management challenges. Ancient approaches to closing resource loops provide models for sustainable industrial development. Global health initiatives working in resource-limited settings rediscover Roman principles of using available materials for medical care when conventional pharmaceuticals aren't accessible. Public health programs incorporate systematic approaches to hygiene education and community health maintenance that reflect Roman military medical organization adapted to contemporary conditions. Ancient medical knowledge provides practical solutions for modern healthcare challenges. Educational programs in medical history increasingly recognize Roman contributions to systematic healthcare delivery, professional medical training, and evidence-based treatment development. Medical schools include instruction in ancient medical practices not as historical curiosities, but as foundations for contemporary medical thinking. Roman military medicine represents early development of systematic approaches to characterize modern professional healthcare. As you observe Brother Thomas completing his morning routine and preparing for a day of manuscript copying and patient care, you realize you're witnessing the persistence of Roman medical innovation across centuries of political, social, and cultural change. Effective medical practices survive because they work, regardless of aesthetic preferences or cultural attitudes. Roman discoveries about dental hygiene, wound care, and systematic medical treatment continue, influencing healthcare delivery in ways that modern practitioners rarely recognize but consistently employ. The golden streams of Roman dental care may have evolved into synthetic compounds and manufactured pharmaceuticals, but the underlying principles, systematic application, empirical observation, professional training, and practical effectiveness remain foundations of contemporary medical practice. Roman legionnaires rinsing their mouths with urine established approaches to healthcare that still protect teeth and gums over 15 centuries later, even when delivered through methods they would never recognize. Closing, and there you have it. The remarkable, revolting, and surprisingly scientific story of why Roman soldiers began each day with what might be history's most effective and disgusting dental hygiene routine. From the camps of northern Britain to the hospitals of Alexandria, from the industrial districts of Rome to the monastery cells of medieval Europe, human urine served as medicine, cleaning agent, and foundation for systematic healthcare delivery that wouldn't be matched again for over 1,000 years. You've journeyed through a world where biological waste became pharmaceutical gold, where practical necessity overrode aesthetic preference, and where empirical observation led to medical discoveries that modern science has validated using different materials but identical principles. The Romans didn't just stumble onto effective medicine. They systematized it, professionalized it, and created supply chains that supported both military conquest and civilian health across an empire spanning 3 continents. The next time you reach for your morning mouthwash, remember that you're participating in a tradition that stretches back over 2 millennia to soldiers who achieved the same. Bacterial reduction, plaque removal, and gum disease prevention using methods that would make you gag but worked surprisingly well. Modern dental hygiene represents evolution rather than revolution in approaches to oral health that Roman military physicians pioneered through sheer practical necessity. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of this entire story isn't that Romans used urine for dental care, but that they developed systematic approaches to healthcare delivery that anticipated modern medical practice by centuries. Professional training, quality control, evidence-based treatment, and organized supply chains, all the foundations of contemporary medicine, emerged from Roman military necessity and practical innovation. History rarely unfolds as we expect, and ancient peoples weren't the primitive ancestors we sometimes imagine. They faced the same biological challenges we do today, and they solved them using whatever resources were available, often discovering principles that modern science has validated using different materials but identical thinking. Roman soldiers rinsing their mouths with urine were practicing chemistry, even when they didn't know what chemistry was. So sleep well tonight, grateful for synthetic compounds that achieve the same results without the aesthetic challenges. But remember that your minty, fresh morning routine stands on foundations laid by people who proved that effective medicine matters more than pleasant delivery methods. Sometimes the most important discoveries come from the most unexpected sources, even when those sources make us question everything we thought we knew about ancient civilizations and modern squeamishness. The golden streams of Roman dental care flowed into fountains of medical knowledge that still nourish contemporary healthcare, even when we've forgotten the source. History teaches us that human innovation knows no boundaries of taste, propriety, or aesthetic preference when survival and health are at stake. And sometimes, the most boring history reveals the most fascinating truths about human ingenuity and adaptation. Sweet dreams, and don't forget to brush your teeth with toothpaste. Thankfully,